Top 20 Operations Analyst Interview Questions and Answers. Companies need to reinvent themselves to stay afloat. They, therefore, need an operation analyst to identify areas that need improvement and effect those changes. In case you have been shortlisted for an operation analyst interview, these 20 questions will come in handy. 1. Why are you interested in this role? You must have heard this question in several interviews. It usually reveals your motivation and if you are a perfect fit for the company. Sample answer: I am passionate about analyses and observation. I believe that the vast skills that I have acquired over time will help me in my engagement with your company. 2. What are the roles of an operation analyst? Do you know what an operation analyst does? Do tell the interviewer. Sample answer: an operation analyst identifies issues with business models and operations. They research, investigate workflows, business procedures, and recommend changes to the organization. 3. What are the qualities that an operation analyst requires to be effective? The interviewer wants to know if you understand what it takes to be an excellent operation analyst. Sample answer: an operation analyst must be a good time manager. He or she should be an analytical thinker and a problem solver. Other qualities include leadership capability and team working. 4. What significant challenges did you encounter during your last role, and how did you manage? Every job requires somebody who can solve problems. The interviewer is testing your problem-solving skills. Sample answer: I haven't managed to get a chance to work yet. However, I believe that I am a problem solver who deals with the challenges that come his or her way. I have found solutions for personal issues that have seen me where I am in life. 5. Describe your daily routine as an operation analyst. Every career on the planet follows a given routine. There are things that you have to do while at work. Here, it would be right to say that the interviewer is assessing how you prioritize your work. Sample answer: my day starts early. Once I get to the office, I go through my diary to see some of the tasks that need urgent work. You can then continue and list what an operation analyst does in the workplace. 6. Describe briefly about your experience. Well, it would be false to say that this is not a common question in interviews. Employers want to know your experience in a given field. You can tackle this question in different ways. Sample answer: I am a first-time applicant, so I'd be lying if I said that I have that much experience. However, I appreciate your company's training program and believe that I have the skills and knowledge to be a great operation analyst. 7. What kind of strategies and mindset do you need for this role? This is an important question that seems to determine whether you are the perfect fit for the job. Therefore, get it right. Sample answer: operation analysis needs someone focused and attentive to details. It requires a person who is a team worker since it involves working with several people. 8. What is the biggest challenge that you foresee in this job? Everybody in the interview room expects you to do your research and know what is at hand if you get accepted for the job. Sample answer: I appreciate your company's code of conduct and values. I, therefore, have confidence in your organization. I have not yet found a problem that cannot be solved, and therefore believe that we can face any that comes along the way. 9. How do you stay motivated at work? This is another version of what keeps you going. The interviewer wants to know how you manage all the stress that comes with the job in question. Sample answer: my motivation is derived from results. I push myself harder to get good results. I used to be the fast worker to report for duty during my last job station because I believe in starting early to achieve better results. 10. Describe a time you failed in this role and the lesson you learned. While this question is meant to test whether you are a problem solver or not, you have to be careful about how you go about it. Sample answer: at one point, I recommended a given change to my manager, but he chose to ignore it completely. Later, the company suffered losses that could have been avoided. Even though it was not my fault entirely, I felt that I did not push enough. I learned never to back down on something that will bring the ultimate good to the industry. 11. Are you experienced in basic accounting? What is your experience? As an operation analyst, you are expected to use mathematical equations to help your organization in decision-making. The interviewer must, therefore, ascertain that you have understood basic accounting methods. Sample answer: I have been using accounting procedures for the last 10 years as an operation analyst. I went through the end-month reports to ascertain that the equations were accurate and the results factual. 12. Have you used business intelligence tools? Tell me about your proficiency. The interviewer expects you to have used business intelligence software in your career to retrieve, inspect, or report data for a company. Sample answer. I have utilized Dundas BI for quite some time to study data and create reports, thanks to the great dashboard. I have also used Click Data and Datapine while making decisions. 13. What does an operation analyst need to have in mind when preparing a business plan? The interviewer assesses whether you know all the necessary actions that should be taken when developing a project and coming up with a business plan. Sample answer. When coming up with a business plan, an operation analyst needs to develop individual components and arrange meetings with colleagues to discuss the plan's impact. He or she should also ensure that others support the project by the end of the day. 14. Have you been involved with employee engagement for the benefit of the business? Tell me about it. Being involved with employee engagement means that you are passionate about your work. Here, the interviewer is testing your leadership skills and ability to relate with other employees. Sample answer. All through my career and especially during my last post, I used employee engagement to establish the number of staff resigning from their positions. I later learned that their wages demotivated them. I talked to the management, which saw their salaries raised. 15. How would you make a merger between two companies to be successful? Whereas the interviewer may be testing several things, this question tests your data management skills. Merging between companies needs a person who can store and retrieve data correctly. Sample answer. I would pick competent analysts during a merger to retrieve all the data and sort files. However, I will limit their scope and handle the confidential documents myself for discretion and accuracy. 16. How will you motivate other staff members to proceed with the changes you requested? Most people are indeed reluctant to change. However, as an operation analyst, you need to ensure that sound business changes are effected. Do you have the right persuasion skills? Sample answer. I will explain to fellow employees to demonstrate how the changes will make their work better. Afterward, I will ensure that they receive proper training to work with the changes. 17. Have you ever implemented some changes to a process that resulted in a significant improvement? It would be best if you were careful when answering such questions. The interviewer is trying to assess whether you are up to the task. Sample answer. While sitting for my last year's exams, I decided to change my routine of studying. I later realized that I was covering more ground and understanding content better than I thought. 18. What is the best way of identifying opportunities for improvement in this field, according to you? The interviewer is merely trying to establish whether you are an analytical thinker and planner. Every company wants to employ someone who will make work easier. Sample answer. I will use all means possible, including observation, deduction, interviews, hypothesis, historical data, and mathematical models to assess the current operations and identify areas that should be improved. I will dig deeper and analyze things in detail, just like I do all the time. 19. Why do you prefer working as an operation analyst? Such questions require tact. To answer this, you need to take a step and think. An interviewer can ask it in many ways, but you will always know what the interviewer wants. Sample answer. I have excellent analytical and observation skills, which come in handy in this career. I love to dig deep and break down operations into single tasks before analyzing each. I believe that I have everything it takes to be a profitable operation analyst. 20. What is the most important thing to you in your next position? As easy as this question sounds, it can be quite challenging. The interviewer wants to know the things that you hold dear. Sample answer. I have learned to value delivery. Therefore, in my next position, I will hold delivery above anything. I will ensure that I contribute primarily to the company's goals.